G'day punters, here we are for a bit of Punting Melbourne style. I'm joined as usual by the punters punter.
There's new outputs on this
mate?
Lovely summer's day in Melbourne, mate.
Back at the Emerald.
Back at the Emerald.
Back at the Emerald. Freezing.
Balmy 15 degrees.
Got the heaters on.
We have.
Got the jackets
God,
on.
unbelievable Melbourne weather. They said someone burned out by bushfire last week or 2 weeks ago. Had an inch of snow this morning, so yeah, that's how we go down here.
Yeah, that's it.
Down in Mexico.
That's all right.
But yeah, good to be back at the Emerald, mate.
That's it. So why don't we kick off talking, DK, a little bit about the last Sunday or Monday? They did a show there on racing.com.
Yeah, after the last, they did the one of the wagering specials. They're doing a few specials, I think.
Might have been Tuesday. I'm losing my days. So
they did Tuesday because they were quiet races during the day talking about it, and then they did it that night.
They had some footage from Richie Irvine and Stewie Davidson.
Yeah, BZ had flown up to Sydney to interview Stewie Davidson, Richie Irvine,
Tom
Waterhouse. Yeah, that's it.
And then they had the
panel
there, which was the sports bet man,
Barney Evans, the CEO of Sports Bet. I thought it was a pretty good panel because I thought, Mike Simons he's a keen punter, ex-racing administrator, knows a lot of professional punters, knows recreational punters, and him and Matt running it from both ends. I thought that worked.
Yeah.
As I said, I had a good chat to Matt Welsh at the Betfair Spring Carnival launch. Spent about 30 minutes with him, and he sort of I think it's good that he's a good fellow, Matt, and he's driving things in there and in these discussions and everything. So that was good.
So the takeout for me was that it was clear from Sportsbet's point of view that their complete focus is on the recreational sector.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, which is fair enough. Absolutely.
It's not 95% of their business. You know.
So and it's also clear that Giles Thompson just completely admitted that they don't have any direct links to their customers anymore. They completely have handed that over to the corporate bookmaking sector and the bookmaking sector in general. So if maximising turnover is a goal for anyone, it's absolutely not for Sportsbet. Their goal is to maximise their profit, of course. It's rightly so for their shareholders. But if Racing Victoria want to maximise turnover, it's going to have to be initiatives undertaken by them to make that happen. Yeah, so that's what's clear to me from watching that show. And Giles talked a bit about what he called them. They want to group punters like us as premium punters, or we might fit somewhere into that category where he was talking about punters that are price sensitive and their volumes depend completely on price and on the value in the market.
They're not price sensitive. And trying to keep everyone happy, which he said someone's always going to be, particularly our probably is, we're not going to be happy with a lot of things because the market is funded a lot by more so the recreational dollar, and that's what the corporate bookmakers are chasing, you know.
Well, it's absolutely critical for Racing Victoria that the current slide in turnover is arrested, and the easiest way to arrest it is to make the marketplace more attractive to those price sensitive punters. Okay, so the recreational dollar, is being sustained by the corporate bookmakers. Okay, so they're doing everything they can to continue to grow that, and they'll keep doing that. But the drop-off in turnover is coming at the price-sensitive end. So Racing Victoria has to come up with some initiatives that revitalise that area of the market. So I heard Giles talking about that, and he kept saying we're looking at that. We've got to think about that. We've got to come up with ways to do that. And he was sort of skirting around it. He didn't want to actually say anything. And I'm sitting there thinking, we've had decades, really, of Jelco sitting in an office in the Tab in New South Wales, basically breaking even at the official price, and then the profits the rebate. So if you want to, and Racing Victoria get all this information, they get all the information of all the accounts and who bets where. So they've got it, so they can use that information to do something. So I'm just sitting here wondering, why don't they create a rebate system for premium level punters, like whether it's fixed odds all through the tote. They collect that information, like everyone could have a master number, so whatever bet you have, whether it's with Sportsbet, the Tab, Betfair, whoever, it comes into your master number and your turnover is measured and you're given a rebate on your turnover. So that means that the corporates can continue to act like they are, but you're effectively getting a better price if the rebate was say 5%, for instance. So just say you turn over $1 million at the end of the year, you get a quarterly check that adds up to 50 grand at the end of the year. Something like that. So I'm just saying what it would do, it would put the 5% back into the market that's been taken out. I'm using 5% as just a figure, so no one pick me up on the numbers. But so I'm saying it would be within Racing Victoria's power to do that. You always have to be careful when you're designing those type of schemes, because I've worked in the corporate world where the whole basis of your relationship with your clients is about rebates.
Yeah.
So that, and you set them targets, and if they achieve the targets, they get a bigger and bigger rebate. If they set me a target that had me increasing my turnover from what it is currently, if they set me a target that would increase it by 10%, 20%, even 50%, and gave me appropriate incentives to do that, I would chase them.
I would chase them. It's certainly something to consider. That's right. That's to drive some turnover. That sort of reward rebate system is everywhere in business these days, as you said.
Absolutely. And they're trying to find. I could see Giles was struggling, trying to work out how can I separate in the current market environment the non-sensitive recreational, non-price sensitive recreational punter, and these ones that are having their turnover stifled by the current market percentage. And I'm thinking, just let your operators in your environment that he was calling it an ecosystem. Whatever you want to call it, and you put something in place on top of that for these price-sensitive punters. And I'm saying, from my point of view, if you gave me a target that had me increasing my turnover by 50%, I would chase it hard with the appropriate incentives. If it meant I was getting a quarterly check from Racing Victoria based on my turnover.
Well, that's something to consider. Possibly, at least you come up with an answer rather than just you've always had a good think about that.
Yeah.
So, and I just thought the usual answers about, the lobbying the government, and it was good to see Martin Bakula. At least we've got a racing minister who gets it. He was at the Jericho Cup yesterday, loves the sport, brought in the lowest POC tax for any states. It's got to be reviewed, I think, next year or something like that. But I see Bet Easy or something just sort of thrown their hands in the air a bit with their percentages recent times, so that was a bit talked about.
Yeah.
So it's getting tougher and tougher in the fixed odds marketplace, but
well, so many things. Just like so much, and what wasn't discussed on that show was how much the market changes in the last minute of betting, right? So, like, we have racing on Saturdays, for instance. The market starts on Wednesday, it goes right up to race time, and the percentages don't get competitive till the final few minutes of betting. So, like, you've got this opportunity. To stimulate betting for days, and you don't, and then it all just happens in the last few minutes. It's very frustrating. So, and Giles was looking at those figures saying, well, the percentages only changed by this, and I've seen Daniel O'Sullivan's publishing figures saying that the actual market percentage change is about 2% with the SP and 5% with the top fluck, which that would be consistent with the stuff that I've run as well. Right. That's about what it is. But the problem is that even those figures are only generated very late in betting.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
There's just very little betting occurring,
and then it's getting more not sporadic. The right word? I mean, would you have ever thought that what was that? The thing you liked on yesterday, Saturday, Talenti? Would you ever thought it would have run 240 or 245 or whatever it ran on Betfair SP?
I think 250 on Betfair.
Yeah. Would you have in your wildest was it 180 in early markets or something?
The first bet I had Saturday morning, I had half of my bet on $1.85.
Yeah.
And then while in betting, I was chasing it out on Betfair, and I think I averaged 220 on Betfair.
Yeah.
So because the price just kept getting better, and I just kept thinking I can't see a reason for this. I just can't see a good reason. So I'm not going to.
It's all changing in the last. When did that all happen? When did you see that was happening? Was there signs earlier? Did you know? Well, it's a bit different in the city or the country because it does happen very late in the country and you can't pick it. But
yeah, when you compare the two cases on Saturday, which were Talenti and Shawnee, I can't make a head or a tail of it. Because what happened with Shawnee is exactly what I expected to happen with Talenti, and what happened with Talenti is exactly what I expected to happen with Shawnee. I thought Shawnee'd be
Express.
$1.80 up to $2.20 or $2.30 or whatever, something like that, maybe $2.50. There'd be some keen layers, and I just thought, who's going to want to lay Talenti?
Yeah.
They've got huge motivation to win the race. It's a very puzzling environment.
It's something I've really had to adapt to, especially when I said country's a lot more volatile. We had one example of, which we were speaking about before the show, with Matt Taylor. Thursday night there was a maiden at Pakenham, Mr. Stylish.
Yeah.
So Mr. Stylish, he presented as probably the right horse in that race, didn't he? But they put him up, as with all the percentage in the top few in the market, they put him up 250. I'd been working all day at Kyneton, family, things like that, so he's 250. That'll look, okay, it's about his right price. It's probably 2.6 to 4 chance in that race, let it go. So anyway, I think it was the next morning I turned on, had a look at the results, saw he won by 7 lengths, go and look at the flux, 250 to 420 with a Betfair SP of 560 or something, Pots.
It's just...
it's great, and I just looked at the timing.
I did exactly the same thing, Dirk. I did that race about 2 o'clock on the Thursday. I just quickly did it. Thought, he's a till off because I'd actually had something on him at Seymour.
So did I.
And it was a good run, and I could see him getting right to his right figure. But I'm not keen betting at Pakenham at the moment. I'm still not comfortable with that track, although he's trained there, so that I probably should have overlooked that. But I thought, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's not much cop back in a horse like him that's still maturing at 6 to 4.
Yeah.
And I'm going out for dinner, so I'm not going to worry about it. I didn't even worry about it. Same as you, I go up the next morning and look at it, and I'm just like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
How is this horse gone around at 420 and $5 plus on Betfair?
And won by 7. So it's just, so that's and that all happened. I clicked on the market fluctuations on dynamic odds, so you could see what time it all happened. And it just happened. It happened in the last 3 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
It was still 280 fixed odds with like 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And then just they backed something else in the race. The favourite was Voroxol, and it was Express. So it's just So you need to be on the ball all the time and be prepared to. You've got to change from no, I'm not going to back this horse to yes, I'm going to back this horse very quickly.
Yeah.
It's the landscape's it's rapidly changing, mate. Anyway.
It's always a battle, though, DK. It's never easy, and
no, never easy.
I often sit there at the end of the week or the end of the month and think, so many things went wrong this month. How did I possibly win?
Or an end of a week, end of a month, anything. It's amazing how you sometimes, and everyone not had to strip out what's happened. It just shows you can work. I think the hard work helps. Do you work hard enough, you can create enough opportunities, even though those opportunities are nowhere near as fat as they were years ago when there was more fat on the bone for everyone and less people doing it and everything. But they still pop up, and if you can get one, they can sort of carry you through, a week or 4 or 5 days. You just need one good result.
Yeah.
Even though it's gone pear-shaped at the previous 4 meetings you bet on or something,
Yeah, I'm sure people are sick of hearing, but it's all really about patience and discipline. You have to have the patience and hard work to identify the opportunities, and then the discipline to wait for them and not lose faith that they're going to be there. They come in, and they often come when you least expect them. Like the Mr. Stylish one, that was an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I was out for dinner, which fair enough. But you're doing something.
You can't be there day-night meetings. You just can't be there all the time. Particularly, you've got families and things. And you'd make a judgment when you see the field and what price it is. So no, maybe it's just anyway. You just got to wait for the next. So there was yesterday, Warrnambool. I was jealous. I said to you before the last show. You said, "Do you like anything at Bendigo tomorrow?" I said, "I'm really keen on this jealous." So I've had a probably real crack at it, open the shoulders, which I haven't done much recently, and it's got beat. So it got narrowly beaten. It was a good run, got narrowly beaten. Then it turns up yesterday. So that was going from Jay Noonan, workman like jockey to BL, and he's got a bit of class. And that's one of the reasons I was keen on it. And so yesterday it's it's in Farley. Right, he's ridden 1 minute and 3 months, just an absolute battle over. But Archie Alexander looks after him, and then they serve up 6 to 4.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So I said,
You don't want to back that what's the right way of describing it? A jockey with that winning percentage on a dominant favourite, because usually they're marked, and the other jockey's making it hard for them.
Yeah. But the horse was just too good in the end. But then you can sort of, there's only 2 mains yesterday, so there's next one. There's sort of Dean Yendall and John Allen on the 2 favourites. You know, they look to be the only two hopes.
Yeah.
So you could sort of, okay, be patient. Like, if it wins, it wins. Don't blue, and then back your good jockeys, stick to your rules, and in the next race, and they ran 1-2. You know.
Yeah.
And sort of sit in. So anyway, I've got that. Speaking of what you said, Potts, I'm a mad post-it man. I've got heaps of post-its, and I've got them all stuck on. You know, nearly every day I'd write one if I've got a losing race or a winning race, and we can go through them now. I'll do it in part 2 if we want more time. But and I've got them all stuck in my computer, and then I'll just put them to the side. But I thought I'd bring them in because they're not like pearls or anything, but you know.
No, absolutely.
So you want to go through a couple?
I've got a few post-its. I'll tell you what, we'll stop it there. That'll do us for part 1. We'll come back in part 2 and we'll go through Sergey's post-its and we'll talk a bit about some of the Darren Weir betting.
Darren Weir betting.
in the paper, and we can touch on Moonee Valley and whatever.
Let us go.